Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is having a good night tonight. Welcome to the live chat. I had a little bit of a slow connection, so I shut my computer down before the live chat began, and so I'm having to restart everything. So I may be just about a minute late on my live stream tonight. Had to just go back in and reopen all of the stuff that I had closed down. Well, if you remember last week on my live stream, I was feeling a little bit under the weather. Well, I found out what it was that was causing me to feel under the weather. I actually had COVID, which I did not know that I had COVID until the next day. It was that night, I went to the emergency room at the VA, and they swabbed my throat, my nose, and told me that I had COVID. So that was not a great time. It is never fun to have COVID or to be sick, period. Welcome, Badlands Bandit. Good to see you here on the show tonight. Have you been on this show before? Have you been on my live streams before, Badlands Bandit? If you have, let me know, and let me know a little bit about you. I don't recall your name. I may have seen you before, but I'm not sure. If you could tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and how you started listening to my live stream in my channel. So I am completely over COVID, thank goodness. It only lasted about 3 days. My wife was sick before I was sick, and we took her to the doctor's office, and she got tested as well. But the doctor told her that she was negative for COVID. So I'm not sure that his test was correct. I think that she probably had COVID as well. So just goes to show you never can really trust those tests. They can be wrong. So how's everybody doing tonight? Okay, Badlands Bandit, hopefully you're feeling better. Yes, I am feeling much better. Thank you very much. This is Dustin. Just changed things up a bit. Okay, so good to see you on here, Dustin. And anybody else that is on the live stream, go ahead and let us know you're here. Before we get started, it's been really hot this summer. It's been up in the hundreds this week. So 101, 102 is pretty average for this week's temperatures. Last week was about the same, and I was hoping it would cool down just a little bit as we're getting closer to fall. We are entering into the month of September now. So today is September the 1st. And I am glad to see the fall coming and the cooler weather. Aren't you all? So tonight's live stream, I'm going to be getting onto my eBay store, and I'll be kind of giving you an update on how the store is doing, how sales are going with eBay. This is just something that I do for enjoyment, and it does provide a little bit of income in my retirement. So it's got multiple benefits selling on eBay. I really enjoy doing it and find a lot of neat things when I'm out looking in the yard sales and in the thrift stores. Find some pretty cool things to resell. And some of the things I just decided to keep for myself just because I think they're pretty neat. So I haven't seen Rat's Stash on tonight. Let's see. C. Clifton, hi, just saw the topic and thought it might be interesting. My brother informed me Informed he and his wife had COVID. Oh yeah. Well, it's good to have you on here, Mr. Clifton or C. Clifton. If you're a lady, let me know. Good to have you on here. Where are you from? And are you an eBay reseller as well? Cherry. Okay. So, Miss Clifton. Good to have you here. Central Alabama. Okay. And I'm in Montgomery, Alabama. So you may not be too far away from me. You might have seen me out at the yard sales or out at the thrift stores. All right. Well, I guess I will go ahead and get into sharing my screen and sharing the information that I have as far as my eBay store is concerned. Sherry says, I have sold on eBay off and on since '99. Oh, that's a long time to be selling on eBay. That's over 20 years. I've only been selling on eBay since like 2018 I think is when I started. No, it wasn't 2018. It was after the pandemic. So maybe 2020 is about the time that I started selling on eBay, or 2021. So I'm going to share with you my performance and sales over the past year. So this being September, we're in the 9th month, just starting the 9th month. And sales have been pretty good this year, even compared to last year. Last year, I ended the year with about $47,000 in sales, doing it part-time. And I still consider myself part-time. As far as selling on eBay, I don't consider myself full-time. I really don't want a full-time job because I am retired. And so this is just something that I do with free time that I have, and it gives me an outlet. It allows me to do something that I like to do that's also productive and generates income. So, I mean, there don't seem to be any, it's all win, no marks in the loser column for eBay as far as I'm concerned. But my total sales so far this year from January the 1st to current is $33,778.98, which is, if you go back to, let me go back to last year and see if I can show you what I did last year at the same time. So we'll go back to, we'll customize it and we'll do January 1st, 2023 to August the 31st of 2023. So at this time last year, my sales were at $20,439.30. So I can tell now that that I've had an increase of about $13,000 between last year's sales and this year's sales. So that is a good increase as far as I'm concerned. I haven't really changed anything that I've been doing as far as my promotions. I've been doing the dynamic promoted listings since April of 2023, and I've continued to do that. But I had 4 months in 2023 where I wasn't using the dynamic promoted listing. So that would account for the sales being less last year at this time than they are currently. I had 319 items sold at an average sales price of $64.07 this time last year. Let's compare that with this year's. So this year, I've done $33,778.98 in sales, and I've sold 480 items with an average sales price of $70.37. And at this rate, I kind of expect the my final sales for the year to be somewhere in the $60,000 range, which that's not bad for just doing it part-time. I put in probably about 3 or 4 hours a day of actual work here at my eBay headquarters. This is what I call my headquarters, which is just a house that I had that was a rental house. It was a rental house. I've had renters in this house, but now I just use it. It's a 3-bedroom house, and I've turned all 3 bedrooms into working spaces where I store inventory and where I do my listings. And then I also turn the living room area of this house into my area where I keep all my vintage consoles and do the repairs on the consoles. Marty Baker, welcome. She says, hey, good to see you here today. And Cherie says, I have just sold a few things here and there, nothing like this. Okay. Well, if I don't know what you're, doing for a living, if you're working full time, or if you're doing anything with your free time that's keeping you busy. Maybe you have more than one job, part-time job, or you got a side hustle. But this is something that, like I said, that I have really enjoyed doing, and I've only put, a few hours a day into it. Don't put much time into it. And, in my opinion, at this at 8 months into the year, and I've already made $33,000. That's just not too bad. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's some people work full time for a company and don't make that much. But I'm just blessed. I feel happy and blessed that I've been able to do that. Welcome, Paul. And so you've had one sale in 3 weeks. You need a vacation. Yeah, that's a lot of work. One sale, and getting that thing listed and getting it packaged up and shipped out. That takes a lot of time and energy. No, I'm just kidding. And Cherie says, I was in shipping, but retired 2 years ago. Okay. So in shipping, like you work for like Amazon, as packing and stuff like that, or what kind of shipping work did you do? Just curious. So let's get into our last 31 days of sales and let you see how it's been doing in the last 31 days. So from August 2nd to current, actually, I think I'm going to back this up to August 1st. Just to give a better picture of how I did in the month of August. But yeah, I encourage anybody who is retired, or maybe you are unable to work outside the home and you just want to do something that can generate a little bit of money and gives you something to do, and you don't have a boss to listen to or to answer to. I encourage anybody to sell on eBay. And I know I could probably make a whole lot more. Okay. Cherie, okay, so you with Federal Express, UPS, and DHL. Hey, guess what? I think I have all 3 of those. Let's see. Cherie, I found these in yard sales, and I kind of just put them up on my shelf because I think they're cool. I have UPS, and I have the United States Postal Service, and This is one that you don't see very often. I have DHL. And that one's back doors open up. So you probably got to drive one of these. Oh, you had an independent shipping store. That's really neat. Self-employment is something that is a lot of fun. It's also, if it's your only source of income, self-employment would be kind of scary to me also, because you're really dependent on yourself and nobody else for your income. And so if things don't work out on any given month, it could be real hard. You could have a hard month or two. So this is the performance for the last 30 days, $5,535.95. And a $5,000 a month for me is a pretty strong month as far as I'm concerned, because during the really slow parts of the summer, I think I got close to 4,000, but I don't think I got up to 5,000, but maybe once or twice. But 5,000 is a really good month for me as far as sales go. My taxes and fees was $384.28. My selling costs were $1,157. I'm sorry, $1,572.36. So that's what I paid to eBay, because I promote everything using the dynamic promotion standard that eBay has available to sellers. And that's based on a daily rate. The daily rate changes every day. So my net sales, that's what I actually took home, was $3,579.31. Now I've got to take, if I want to actually get a real number as far as exactly what I brought home for the month of August, I'll need to subtract $800 from $3,579.31, because that's what my selling costs are. So that is $2,779.31 that I actually got to bring home in the month of August, which I feel that's pretty good. That's not bad. Those are cool. I have the DHL too. And okay, thank you. So that's a pretty strong month. Quantity sold was 74 items with an average sales price of $74.81. So that means that my average price per item was $74.81 of the items that I sold. I did not have any repeat buyers. They were all first-time buyers. And let's look at the categories of what I sold. So the number one category is always going to be video games and consoles, because that is my number one category. If you've been watching my channel, you've seen me repair a few video games and consoles. Is that some of the Hot Wheels money? That was a big score. Actually, I did sell a couple of Hot Wheels in the month of August, and I'll show you that once I get into my sales. But yeah, I think I did sell a couple of Hot Wheels cars that was from that big Hot Wheels haul. But the majority of the items the majority of the money that I generated in the month of August was from video games and consoles, with sales of $1,539.66. I sold jewelry and watches. This was a watch that I sold in the last 31 days. I did mention this one in the last one. I've sold a couple of watches. One of them was $500, and the other one was like $150. So I have sold some pretty high-end watches that made some pretty good money last month. So that was a big chunk of it. And then home and garden, household supplies, cleaning, vacuum. Oh, I sold a vacuum cleaner. That's what it was. I sold a Dyson vacuum cleaner, and I'll show that on tonight's live stream. But that I made $235.16 from home and garden. Computers, tablets, and networking, printers, scanners, and supplies, $218. So I sell every now and then I sell a printer. I try not to buy printers anymore because they're just not great sellers if they're not new in the box. Best way to get printers, if you can find them for a good price, is to buy them new in the box. And the only time I'll ever buy a printer anymore is if it is new in the box. So sporting goods was $169.53. That's for hiking, backpack, and day packs. So I sell a lot of backpacks. Toys and hobbies. I've been selling pretty good on the toys and hobbies, like toy vehicles, trucks, vintage toys, and that sort of thing. I sold $169. Cameras and photos. I always do pretty good with the cameras. Digital cameras, $149.84. And then there's home and garden again. This is for alarm clocks. And if you've been watching me, you know I like to pick up those vintage alarm clocks with the LED digital display on them. That you have the red and the blue and different colors on there, and the green. I've sold $136.70 worth of vintage alarm clocks. So don't sleep on those alarm clocks. They're really good. I always pick them up, usually get them for about $2 or $3 each, and sell them for about $25 to $30 a piece. There's toys and hobbies again, and this is the electronic learning toys and learning systems. That was $125. Computers, tablets, and networking. This is for a PC, laptop, and netbook, $124.40. Toys and hobbies again. This is action figures, accessories, $119.33. Collectibles, radio, phonograph, TV phone, telephones, $117.53. I like to sell those vintage telephones also. People pick up those vintage telephones, and they're pretty good. I mean, sometimes they'll sit around just a little bit, but if you can get those rotary dial, these kids these days, they don't know what rotary dial is. Welcome, Renee and Todd from Rat Stash. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And then clothing and shoes. That's mostly shoes for me. I don't sell a whole lot of clothes. I do have some t-shirts and a couple of pairs of pants listed on eBay, but I don't have an entire, wardrobe or anything like that. I don't have a whole lot, but $101.48 for shoes, and that's mostly shoes, even though it does say clothing, shoes. Movies and TV, that's DVDs and Blu-ray discs, $90.68. Clothing, shoes, and accessories, that's shoes again, men's shoes and athletic shoes, $90.63. Toys and hobbies, building toys and complete sets of building toys like Legos, $77.64. Home and garden, that's vacuum cleaner, bags, and supplies, $73. Consumer electronics, TV, video, DVD players, $69.70. And collectibles, I sold a Harley Davidson belt buckle for $67.51. So that kind of shows you the kind of items that I sell. I do sell a little bit of everything. I don't consider myself a niche seller. I kind of sell a little bit of everything. I like to keep it broad as far as the items I sell. Looks like the biggest day of the month was August 1st with $890.43 in sales. And the lowest day was August the 18th with $0 in sales. So I had a few days with very low sales. August 23rd, I only sold $23.92. August 25th, $42.87. So I've had a few days with very low sales, like August 15th, $17.55 for the whole day. At least I didn't get, snowed out and didn't get. I got at least one sale. It's better than not having any sales at all. But those low sales days kind of hit you in the gut, don't they? So that's what the month looked like for the last 31 days from August 1st to August 31st. It was a pretty productive month, I would say. So I'm going to go ahead and get into what has sold. I know that this is what you all have been waiting for, to see what I have sold this month in the last 31 days. Today, I had a really nice sale. This is actually the only sale that I've had today so far. And this is one of my video game bundles. It is a Microsoft Original Xbox console bundle with 3 games. And this is actually one of the game consoles that I did on one of my recent videos where I made repairs and got it back running. Renee says, that's super impressive. Thank you very much, Renee. I appreciate it. It's been a really good month. I was really pleased with the sales this month. But one thing, there are a couple things that I've done. If for you guys that are resellers, or if you're considering getting back into reselling, the things that I have done are I check my, well, first of all, you make sure you list at least five items every day. If you can get those 5 items listed, that shows eBay that you're working your store, and it makes the algorithm move. Plus, when it sees that that there's activity going on in this store, then that generates more activity and more sales for you, which is always a plus as far as I'm concerned. So, excuse me. So this is the only sale that I've had so far today, but even if it's the only sale, it's $139.50. It's a good profit for the day. And I have mentioned before kind of, what kind of money I have invested into something like this, a bundle like this. Usually about $35 to $40 invested in the game console itself, about $15 invested in the controller, and then sometimes I have to buy the AV cables, about $12 with the AV and power cables, and then the games. These games, 2 of them I picked up in Florida when I was with my aunt shopping at the flea market, and so I don't have very much into these. I try not to put more than about $1 into a video game, so I would say about $3 into that. So under $50 in cost to me that I have in it, and I'm able to turn it around into $139, which is pretty good. I know not everybody wants to deal with video game consoles, but that's just something that I kind of enjoy. It's kind of a specialty item for me that I like to do. The next item that I sold was yesterday, and this is a I Love High Fidelity Speaker Dock for iPhone iPod model AUD5B-LK. And this is a speaker dock for the not the latest iPhone, because the latest iPhone has the USB-B port, I think it is, and this is the one that has the little things on the end of it. So it's like the generation before the most current one. But I paid $5 for this at a yard sale, and it sold for $22.49, which wasn't a whole lot of profit, but it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit of money. The next item that I sold, it was an HP Compact Presario laptop computer. And this laptop computer, I don't have any money invested in it, because it actually came from a clean out from one of our rental homes that the person abandoned the house, and they left a bunch of stuff in there, and this is one of the items that got left in there. So I don't have any, as far as cost of goods, invested into this. So it was $85.50, which was a pretty good deal right there. I like that. The next item that I had that I sold was this little monkey. It's an original Robert Harrop Tips Chimps figurine, and these figurines come from England. They're collectors figurines, and you see the date on the bottom is 1997. They came from England. This is actually one of the first few items that I picked up. I bought this at a thrift store, and it was I paid. There was a female monkey that came with this as well. The female monkey sold a long time ago, but I paid like $10, or no, $5 for both this one and the other one. And the female monkey sold for 50 something dollars. It was more rare than this one. Apparently it had some glasses that made it even more rare. There were two versions of it. And so so that's pretty much all profit on that, which is a good deal. The next item that I sold was a CD. It was a Donald Fagen CD. I'm not familiar with this group, but I've had these CDs in a box for quite a long time, and they didn't come with these jewel cases. They just came with the paper covers and the CD itself. And so what I did was I just ordered some jewel cases, and I put these paper covers in the jewel cases and got them listed. So I've been listing a lot of CDs recently, and that has made my store numbers increase considerably. Sold this toy. It's like a boat, like a battle station boat, or a naval boat. I'm sure that Todd will be excited about this one. But this boat here makes noise, lights. This little light on the side lights up, and there's sounds that come from it. And I put these three figures with it, and it sat in my store for quite a considerable period of time. I don't think I had more than $5 into this, and it sold for $13.49, which was pretty good. I don't complain. I'm not complaining about that. But it's got these wheels on the bottom of it, and it supposedly floats too. I didn't test it to make sure it floats, but from the other listings that there were, it does float. So Todd said, "Oh, Todd, don't you miss your Navy days?" I know you do. I can't say I miss my Air Force days, though. The next item that I sold was this vintage alarm clock radio. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I pick these up every time I can find one with the LED numbers. This one is called a Reason, and this is a talking alarm clock. This one is made for people who are sight impaired, and it announces the time on the hour, which is really good for somebody who is unable to look at a clock and tell what time it is. So I think I have $3 or $4 into this, and it sold for $22.49. Renee said, Navy means never again volunteer yourself. I like that. That's really good. All right. So the next thing I sold was a Lexmark black inkjet cartridge. Anytime I see these inkjet cartridges, I pick them up. This one was like $1 at a yard sale, and it sold for $13.49. So if you see these, any kind of ink cartridges, if you see them in a box, if you see them, the smaller cartridges like this one right here, pick them up because they're really good for selling. People go to eBay to pick them up to find ink cartridges to buy that they need. This is a Michael Kors stainless steel gold tone watch, and this is a woman's watch. I picked this up at a yard sale for $5, and it had never been worn. Unfortunately, the battery was dead in it, so it wasn't working when I picked it up, and I never did put a new battery in it. I just put in the description that it will need a battery, so whoever gets it will need to put a battery in it. Is what I put in the description. But this sold for $76.50, which was a really good sale as far as I'm concerned. Next item that I sold was a Sony DSLR A100 10.2 megapixel digital camera. Now this is an older camera, but it's still a good one. People love to pick up these Sony cameras. I bought this from my friend George at the Gold and Silver place, and I paid $20 for this camera. And it's a real good camera because it's got two lenses with it. It's got this long lens and then the lens that's actually on the camera. So I sold that for $125.10. And anytime I find a good DSL or a good digital camera or a good film camera, I will pick those up. Those are always good to pick up. And they're good sales. Another good item to pick up to sell is this Texas Instrument TI-84 graphing calculators. If you see these, especially this silver edition TI-84 graphing calculators, be sure and pick those up. I got this at a yard sale for $5, and it sold for $46.80. Now these have gone down in value a little bit over the last year or so. Used to be able to get $85 or $90 for one of these, but $46.80 when I only have $5 into it, I'll take that any day. I'm really pleased to get a pickup like that. This is an interesting sale that I had. I picked these up at a yard sale as well, and these are Yeezys. I don't know if you've ever heard of these shoes. They're called Yeezys. Yeezy, and they're made by Adidas. They're foam. These shoes, brand new, are in the $250 range. And then used, I picked these up at a yard sale for $5. They're used, and they sold for $85. So that was a real good turnaround on that. Renee says, I remember those calculators was in the dollars when I was in college. Yeah, they're very expensive, brand new for sure. If you pay for them, if you buy them brand new, they're really expensive. The next item that I sold was this March Radio doll. And this is a pretty cool little doll I picked up. I picked this up at a yard sale a long time ago. I think I paid $1 for it. It's new in the box. And it's Marsha with her broken nose. If you remember, the Brady Bunch, remember there was one episode where Marcia got hit in the face with a football. To spit it out. She got hit in the face with a football, and her nose was all swollen. And so this was kind of made to memorialize that episode, I guess. Yep, Yeezy is Kanye West's shoes. Yep, that's right. I don't think I would pay that much for a pair of shoes made out of foam. I wonder how durable they are. The next item that I sold was this Lexmark all-in-one inkjet wireless scanner printer. And this was not new in the box. It was new, but it was not new in the box because it was a refurbished item. It was refurbished by Lexmark. I picked this up in a yard sale for $10. It sold for $107.99. So, like I said earlier, if you find these printers and they're still in the box, go ahead and pick them up. But if you see them just sitting out at yard sales, I don't encourage you to pick those up, because there is a good chance it doesn't work, and then there's an even better chance that it's not going to sell, because those have a tendency to sit around. People don't want to buy a used printer. If they wanted to buy a used printer, they would just keep the one they've got. So I bought this Harley Davidson belt buckle at a yard sale as well. And this was a pretty neat belt buckle, I thought. It was, I paid $5 for this belt buckle, and it is a genuine, officially licensed Harley Davidson belt buckle made in the United States. And it sold for $51.29, which was, I felt, a really good price for that item. And I always do really good with these military boots. This is a pair of black boots from they were issued to somebody in 1993. And they're all leather boots, military issue boots. I picked these up at a yard sale for $2. So I did a video about these when I picked them up. I did a haul video, and I had several other pair of boots when I picked these up, the tan colored boots. These all the boots that I picked up that day were $2 a pair, and these sold for $72.09. So if you see a good pair of military combat boots in a yard sale, then pick them up by all means. They're really good for selling. People like those combat boots. Another item that I do pretty good with is vintage telephones. This one I picked up at a yard sale for $10, and I liked how it looked. The person wanted $20 for it, and I told them I just couldn't give that much for it, and I walked away. And so they finally relented and agreed to come down to $10 on it. So I picked this up for $10. It's a vintage Western Electric Deco brass eagle and wood desk rotary phone. So this is a rotary phone. And this phone was missing a piece. If you see right here, the end cap that's on this side there should have been one on this side as well, but it was missing. But it didn't seem to really affect the value. It still sold, and $53 from $10 is not bad as far as I'm concerned. I picked up these turtle wax bottles at a yard sale for like 50 cents a piece. And so when I went to look these up, they actually go with a turtle wax set of, items that you buy, like you put on one coat of one and then you put another coat of another, and this is like the second one that you do the second coat with for detailing, and it's Turtle Wax Box Spray Detailer. And I just bundled these together and sold them together for $30.15. The next item that I sold was this another ink, new in the pack. This HP Ink Office Jet. I've got a lot of these smaller inks in a drawer that I keep that I picked up. Some of these have sat around for a while, and this one, it was expired on May of 2013. So apparently they're still good even after they're expired. But this one sold for $11.69. And I sold another Xbox bundle. This bundle was an Xbox One, and it's a 500 gigabyte. Now, I don't encourage people to buy these Xbox Ones. They're not great. This is the bundle that I had. It is it has the Xbox, and then I had to buy the power and the controller, and also put some games with it. But these are not the best game consoles to sell. People just don't like them, and the reason they don't like them is because the way that they design these things, you have, in order to play video games on it, you have to sign in with Microsoft, and that's just a pain in the rear end. People just don't want to do it, and so these do not sell real well for me. And I had to put a lot of work into this one, because when I bought it for parts and repairs, it had a lot of problems with it. And one of the problems that it had was the hard drive was bad on the Xbox when I bought it, and I had to do a whole lot of stuff just to get it working again. I had to get a new hard drive, and I had to format the hard drive. Then I had to download the instructions for the hard drive to work. I had to put that onto the hard drive in order to get it to work again. But I did get it to go, and I got 3 of them working, and it was a real good learning experience too. I learned a lot from it. But I don't encourage buying these Xbox Ones for resale. They're just not great sellers. Every now and then I'll sell some golf balls. If you could get golf balls new in the box, they're really good sellers as well. These are Titleist golf balls. There's a dozen in the package, and they sold for $26.09. This is a item that I picked up at the thrift store, and I paid $20 for it. So in a way, I kind of paid up for it. I paid a lot for it, a lot more for it than I do a lot of other things. I did pay $20 for it, but I looked it up while I was in the thrift store, and this is and I'm not real familiar with this game, but apparently it's some kind of a learning game that teachers can do in the classroom. It's called Classroom Jeopardy, and this one was pretty much new. It looked like it may have been used once or twice, but it was in very good condition, and new condition actually. So it sold for $103.50, which was not too bad. Baseball season. Always pick up baseball bats and gloves during baseball season. They are awesome for selling during this time of year. Sports items do really well, and I enjoy I enjoy selling them and listing them. Baseball bats are real easy to list. Looks like I need to get back into the sharing screen. But yeah, baseball bats are real easy to list, and you can generally get pretty good money for them. But you do want to make sure that you are looking at your brands that you're buying, And Easton is not one of the best brands to buy, but if you can get the Louisville Slugger, if you can get the Louisville Slugger, that's a good one to get. This bat here is a Maxim, and it sold for $37.80. This is a pretty good bat, and it was a pretty good seller. It's called a Maxim, and it's a Combat 2, and it was a -10 drop. And there's a whole lot of things that you can learn about bats as far as how to know, what they are. But you want to be sure and look on the end, and you can see how long it is and how much it weighs. So that one says 27 inches, and it weighs 17 ounces. So it's a composite metal bat. And so if you find those, be sure and get them. They're really good. I sold a combo VHS combo player. I like these combo players with the VHS and the DVD. People are still buying them, and so I'm still selling them. And I like to put a AV cables with them, and I always make sure I take pictures of all sides, including the bottom. And they usually do pretty good. I think I have about $5 into this. I picked this up at a yard sale, and it sold for $44.55. The next item that I sold was a rear view backup camera for a car or a van or truck or anything that you're wanting to put it on. It's just a reverse camera. And I picked this up at a yard sale for like $1. It was in a bag, and it sold for $12.60. And it was basically a new camera. Never had been used, but somebody had removed it from the package. So that was a pretty good sale. And one of the best sales of the month was this Dyson vacuum cleaner. I picked this Dyson vacuum cleaner up at a yard sale for $20, and it sold for $166.50. One of the things that kind of turned me on to the Dyson vacuum cleaners was I had, when I was in Texas in January, I was visiting a friend of mine, Dash, and we saw one of these Dyson vacuum cleaners on the side of the road. Somebody had just thrown it out. So we stopped and picked it up. Even if the vacuum cleaner itself isn't working, you can part it out. You can take these pieces, like this piece right here, and you can sell it for good money. But this one sold for $166.60, which I thought was a really good deal for turning $20 into $166. You can't do that in the stock market, can you? Also, I have sold some more of the nail polish. I think on my last live stream where I talked about my nail polish that I sold, I lotted a bunch of them up and just put them together. This one sold for $31.50. There were 11 bottles of nail polish, and the brand name is Broadway. They're all different colors. I made sure and took photographs of all the different colors. And I paid $20 for the whole, it was like a bucket full of these. There probably was about 100 different nail polish, jars of nail polish in the bucket. So I've already made my money back on the last live stream I did where I did a what sold. I sold another one of these as well for about the same price. So that's pretty good. sold a pair of Century Lightfoot martial arts sparring shoes for $28.80. Carol gave me these so I could sell them. Yep, that's absolutely correct. Better odds than Vegas. Yeah, Carol gave me these shoes so I could sell them, so I don't have any cost of goods with these shoes, and they sold for $28.80, and they were in brand new condition. So whoever got these got a good deal, and I also made a little bit of money, which was pretty good. The next item that I sold was these Mega Blocks. Call of Duty A Claw Assault, and it's 212 pieces. This was sealed in the box, and it sold for $58.50. I picked this up at a yard sale for $5. So that was a pretty good deal there. Now this one here is a real interesting one. I picked up a TV somebody had thrown out on the side of the road, and I wanted to see if I could make it work. So I plugged it in, and it did work, but the picture, that had some kind of issue with the picture. So what I ended up doing is I just disassembled the TV, and I took all the parts out of it. And I sold this. This is a chassis part that goes to the TV. So people who are out there repairing TVs and that sort of thing, they go to eBay to find used parts that work. So this one sold for $38.70, and I have no money into it. So that was a good deal. And someone mentioned earlier about the Hot Wheels. Here is one of the Hot Wheels from my Hot Wheel haul that I got a few months back, and it sold for $103.50. If you recall, I paid $7 for an entire bucket full of Redline Hot Wheels, and I have been selling those since that time. That same day that I got those Hot Wheels, I got them home immediately, and I started listing them. So that has been a very good purchase, and probably the flip of the year. The next item that I sold is this original Nintendo Game Boy handheld video game system. This is the original Game Boy that you remember from the 80s and 90s. And I put on here some of pictures where I was showing that it did work. It sold for $139, and I sold it with 3 games: Dr. Frankenstein, Tiny Toon, and Double Dragon. So I bought this one. The screen did not work, and I have a fix for the screen. I will be doing a video about that in the near future, where I can restore a screen that is no longer working, that has lines in it, just using a soldering iron. So that is going to be coming soon, because I do have one more that is ready to be repaired and listed. So I did sell another Xbox game console bundle. This one did not have an OEM controller. It had a Mad Catz controller. Some people like those Mad Cat controllers even better than the OEM controllers. They are really nice to handle. If you've ever used one, here's what they look like. They are really nice to handle when you're playing video games with them. I really like them. And I sold Woody, finally. Woody has been sitting around in my toy bin for quite some time. He sold for $24.29. I have about $1 into him, and I bought him at a thrift store for about $1. This computer case sold for $53.99. This is a MagForce tower, mid tower, and this tower had a bunch of computer equipment inside of it. I stripped all the computer equipment out of it. I took the the power supply and the motherboard and all the memory that was in it out, and just sold it as a tower by itself. So when in doubt, part it out, is what I've heard before, and it does work. So this tower sold for $53.99. I have about $50 into the tower. I've already sold the motherboard, and I sold it for about $75. So this is pretty good profit here on this. If you ever if you find these Algeria or Allegria, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, Allegria women's shoes, these are the nursing shoes, pick them up, because people are still buying these Allegria or Allegria shoes. Apparently they're very comfortable for nurses who are on their feet for a good portion of their shift. I have about $5 into these shoes. They sold for $33.29. And if you're familiar with the American Girl and the BATTAT, which is American Girl also, I found this at the thrift store for $5 for the set, and it has a wheelchair, it has some masks, it has looks like x-rays and different things, the glasses and the stethoscope, and a lot of neat little things that little girls can play with for with their American Girl dolls and their Batat dolls. This sold for $27. And I'm still selling these Army Challenge coins that I picked up a long time ago. Still selling these on a regular basis. This one is one of the lower dollar ones that I had listed. It sold for $13.49. If you recall, in the past, I've talked about these coins. I have sold these. I've been selling these. I bought a whole tin full of them. There were probably about 40 coins altogether for $20. And I've really made hay with that purchase, because I've sold quite a few coins, and some of them sold for pretty high dollars. This one also sold. This one is a Fort Benning coin, and it is from the Maneuver Center and it's a General's Award poker chip challenge coin. So it's made like a poker chip, and it sold for $27. So I've just about listed all of those poker coins. Are not just that was the only poker coin. I've listed about all of those challenge coins and sold them. So that's done pretty good. My throat decided to get a little bit hoarse tonight. But those are the items that I've sold in the last 2 weeks. I have done really well in the last couple of weeks, and the last month for that matter. I've been very pleased with my store sales. I think as we're getting into the third quarter, things will just get better and better all the time. And I'm looking forward to see what third quarter is going to bring. For those of you who are resellers, make sure that you have plenty of good inventory and you're ready for third quarter, and you're listing every day so that you'll be able to get those sales. Renee says that's an easy listing too when it's multiple of the same item. Yep, that's right. So looks like I have just gone over an hour, and I have appreciated each and every one of you who have joined tonight. Tonight is a What's Sold video, so I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you got something out of it, and I hope that you were able to take something away as far as that will help you improve your sales with your eBay store. It is a lot of fun. I don't ever want to make this a job, because I am having way too much fun doing it. And I hope to continue to do this for many years to come. It's something that my voice is a little bit short tonight. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that. But I look forward to continuing to sell on eBay, and it is really nice to have that extra income in retirement. It really does help pad everything and gives me a little bit of extra money to put aside for the rainy days. But I have two rental houses right now that are not occupied. I just had one tenant move out. That was a long-term tenant. He was a good tenant. He was a great tenant. He was military, Air Force, and yes, please make sure and comment, subscribe to the channel. And so right now I have two rental houses that are vacant, so I need to get busy and get those rented out so that I can start earning income on those again. But in the meantime, the income that I'm getting from the eBay has really helped pad the account and allowed me to do different things. But anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed the show and the live stream tonight, and I hope that you will come back and visit me next week at 6:30 Central Standard Time, Sunday night, and we will try to do another live stream. Good to see you all here tonight, and thank you all for joining me, and I hope that you all have a blessed week, and I will see you next week. Love you guys. Bye-bye.